Kind of wanted to change my background.
Well, you're too late.
It's never too late for that.
Man,
I can go to a bar.
I'm about as close to being on tilt as I've been in a long time. The way that game broke last night, and now to see all of the CLV on the Browns go up in smoke because of the stupidest fucking rule in the entire sport, and to watch the replay and understand he didn't fumble because he was, reasonably defended. He fumbled because he was concussed by a guy who speared him in the fucking helmet. What is going on with this sport? Like, the fact that we got to see it in replays and that people are celebrating it, like, give me a break. Like, if the Chiefs, if karma's real, Mahomes is going to break his leg in the second half here. Like, you don't get to fucking do this shit. I mean, this is ridiculous.
There is a little sunburn.
Man, dude.
You did get some sun the other day. You're looking like you have a healthy glow. What do you think was more backbreaking? This or the different game situations, this or the 100-yard pick six, not to bring up bad memories. It felt like the same thing. Like,
same thing. Oh yeah, no. They both are. Yeah, but the Browns had a lower probability of winning here. This would have kept him in the game. They would have kept him fighting. They could have gone into halftime and been like, yeah, guys, that took them from, 10% win probability to 0. The 100-yard pick six last night was like 50-50 to 0. So that was more backbreaking.
It was
but you're right. In both cases, we had two clear plays where all win probability for a team evaporated. Lamar's pick six was self-inflicted, so you can't necessarily, can't lose too much sleep over that. Like, he made a bad read, and the Bills defended him perfectly on that play. So hat tip to them.
Baker is playing well. Baker's playing well. Let's talk about what
a joke of a sport. What a joke of a sport. We're betting on this. What a joke. I'm disgusted.
Yeah, and second, first half. What was the first half total?
Joke.
Because a lot of things could have flipped. Hunt is not getting targeted. Pam's pointing that out. Hooper's only had 1 or 2 targets. But at the same time, Baker's playing well. Njoku getting some action. Cleveland starts with the ball. Cleveland is down 2 scores still. Well, it's only 16.
No, and Baker's playing very well. You have a future franchise quarterback. Congratulations, Cleveland. That's awesome. I don't know if he'll ever be good enough to compete with the likes of Pat Mahomes and their cheating ass defense. But it's a good sign that in this big of a moment, in these highest stakes, he's playing as cool as he's playing. So
he's even has a reception.
I think under is the right look, right? I mean, Chiefs with the lead under.
Chiefs with the lead is under. I'm not sure. I was just going to ask, what you thought of Browns. Browns adjustments, Browns second half offense against this defense. Kansas City getting some pressure, which it's not like it's not something we talk about. The vaunted Kansas City pass rush, but it has been known to get some pressure here and there. So I guess it's not super surprising. It's not like the Titans getting 5 sacks in the first half or something. So, yeah, total of 28, juice to the under, basically a pick 'em in the second half. You can get Cleveland money line second half at plus 107 right now. Team totals going to be about 14 a pop then, I guess.
28 is an under.
Yeah, it's a little high. I'm not jacked about betting an under in this.
Not at all. The Chiefs offense is sharp as can be. They look completely, they're not missing the elements of the run game. Their offensive line is holding up perfectly well. The Browns are doing exactly what other teams have done to slow down the Chiefs in terms of rushing base 4 and dropping 1 million guys in coverage. Pat Mahomes is a gimpy foot. but he's still scrambling easily for third and whatever they need because he's smart quarterback and he's reading the defense well and he's taking advantage of when they're giving him, running alleys. I would say, I still think their red zone execution is still kind of
we do this every fucking halftime and we're always dead wrong, and we're wrong with the wrong team. We didn't even think of going for 2 to go up by 17 last night, but being down by 16, I know it would be early. It would probably, if they scored on the first drive, it'd still be early in the third half. I don't know how Stefanski would feel about, I don't want to call it chasing points, but going for 2 early. But it just feels like being down by 16, at some point Cleveland does go for 2. So we could have a situation where we get 4 touchdowns in the second half.
They're just replaying this fucking clip over and over again.
Stop watching it. But anyway, we could have 4 touchdowns in the second half and still stay under the 28. Is what I'm saying. If you end up with a missed 2-pointer.
Oh, look at that! I sound like a newbie fish because the NFL can't come up with the correct way.
You do this every.
No, this guy's on Periscope, so I can't kick him out or suspend him, I guess. But a newbie fish because the guy was concussed and he fumbles to the end zone and that swings the game. No, like this is
just sound
bullshit.
Bad.
This is bullshit. It is totally.
I haven't even been drinking yet.
28s are gone. It's down to 27.5. Hopefully you got the under in early. I'm not playing the second half. I have too many stupid player props I have to cheer for. So I don't think they'll go for 2 on the first touchdown. But if they score and then let's say Kansas City does answer, it gets later in the third quarter, still down 16. Eventually you'd go for 2. If they miss it, you can end up some weirdness. 4 touchdowns landing on 27 won't feel good for an over bet if you have that. So I'm not too excited about watching the second half of this game or betting it. I'm going to cheer for some Hooper props. I'm Hooper, and I'm passing on this because I'm sitting here with the Browns team total over 23.5. I'll cheer for your Hooper props also because David Njoku. If David Njoku is part of the game plan in the second half, then the over is a little bit more in reach. So hopefully it's a Hooper second half, and the Browns, fizzle out. The Chiefs defense is, the targeting play aside, the Chiefs defense is making really good plays in high leverage spots. They got a couple of nice sacks. They've defended well in
the short stuff, the screen stuff. They're blowing up these short passes and screens. Whereas Baker's hitting some more stuff downfield. So I don't know if I'm Stefanski, possible coach of the year runner up, which, man, if you think about that, some of these years you go back and look at these awards, it's never going to list it on the Wikipedia page or say who the second runner up was for MVP or rookie of the year. But this is truly a year where, I think McDermott probably wins it, right? But Stefanski, we might look back at this and be like, Stefanski had a really good year, and he just didn't get any love because it's weird to have 2 fan bases, 2 teams like this to go so crazy ass long without wins in the playoffs, and then both come up like this. And obviously, Cleveland ran into a buzzsaw here and isn't getting any help from the bad luck.
I mean, honestly, if McDermott wins Coach of the Year, then the voting is. Burn it to the ground.
I mean, it's a media award. It's silly.
If you want to carve up the pie of why Buffalo was successful this year, Stefanski's impact. McDermott's impact is what 5% max. I mean, so much of the Bills' success this year was because Josh Allen improved his game in the offseason. He improved his accuracy, something that no one thought was possible because we just have never seen it. And the other huge reasons they were amazing were they acquired Stephon Diggs, who was one of the best offensive players in the game. The other reason that they did so well this year is because Brian Dable was running plus EV play sequencing and play calling all season long. What did McDermott do? I guess he was there and he didn't screw it up. So he was there. Year? Is that he was there? Yeah, so
it's that's how these work.
His defense took an enormous step backwards this year.
Nagy won Coach of the Year because they were incredibly lucky on defense for an entire season. Very opportunistic Bears defense, and Mitch just wasn't bad that year. It's a goofy award. I can't speak for 100% there. It feels like the last time I looked at it, McDermott was ahead in the betting odds, and granted, it's not a terribly liquid market, so I would still give it to McCarthy.
You do march by the beat of your own drum. You know, you're a very, you ride for your guy. Realistically, Stefanski's probably 1A, Flores 1B, just in terms of team and how they performed and adversity they faced, and what they were able to achieve this year.
I meant to write under.
The under is down 27.5 now is juicy -113. So the ship has sailed on under 28.
Under live after the Browns score.
Under live after the Browns score. I don't think the Browns are going to score. I mean there could be, the refs could try some makeup shit here. It's not there's a lot of times I've seen that happen. Even in the playoffs, even with a lot of people watching, standalone game, the refs will still probably give the Browns some favorable calls on their first drive out of halftime to make up for the injustice, especially after kind of reflecting on how ridiculous that was. The holding calls have been awful. I mean, are they holding? Yes, but to really enforce it at this level, and in a lot of times when it's not even really gaining a competitive advantage has been, it's been ticky tack. There's been a lot of ticky tack OPI. That was ridiculous. I don't know. This ref crew can forget about giving them a playoff game next year, in my opinion.
We should get to do fan vote on that. Well, it's still halftime. Drew's still angry. I've been angry too. I just don't express my anger in the same way. I'm going to go do taekwondo in the garage.
That's pretty
Taki. I do long for Jerome Boger.
What did you think of the openers? And did you see what BetOnline was taking 2K on Buffalo plus 5.5? What do you think of that?
Yeah, so I saw that.
Is it still up?
I think so. A big takeaway we had on some of these NFL lines, and they are hanging. It's down to 4.
Oh, okay. So
it crossed the all important 5, which actually, and to be joking aside, 5 has kind of landed a lot, and I don't know if there's signal there. And in fact, I doubt there is, but 5 has kind of landed a lot lately, which is it's moved
more than 4 this year. Higher frequency than 4 this season,
which is silly. But anyway, a big thing that we saw was, and this was early, Tampa Bay and the Saints were lined at essentially exactly the same price when whoever was traveling to Green Bay. It was Green Bay -3, Green Bay -3, no matter who they faced. So we were saying, are these teams the same price? I don't know how much they're adjusting for matchup, but basically, and we saw more Tampa Bay money came in. So are they saying being in the Superdome without, there's a few like first responders or healthcare workers or something, but being in the Superdome, whatever it's called, with a few fans, that's worth 2.5 points. These teams are the same. Neither team got a bye. They had to play. I mean, I guess the Saints kind of got a bye, get to play the Bears, but they're the same power rating against Green Bay, but we're gonna give Tampa 2.5 or 3 points early this morning. So it was a little odd.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, obviously, there's some built-in factor of kind of the market has a bias that Drew Brees isn't going to go up to the cold weather and play well outdoors, but Tom Brady is. So that's some of that, I would say. Similarly,
I can buy that.
Green Bay beat they beat New Orleans pretty comfortably in week 3. Tampa Bay in week 5 went into Green Bay and, after giving up a 10-0 lead, scored 38 unanswered. So there's some anchoring there that Tampa Bay is live and New Orleans is not. So that's infecting this too.
Yeah. Brady has played many a cold weather game for many a decade. So I guess that's fair. And if we still want to hit any of the Saints playoff bad luck narrative, I don't know if that's really in the number, but they have struggled in the playoffs ever since 2009. It is overtime. It's overtime. Now you can say bad words, Drew. Well, I think I dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah, I think that was warranted, though. I guess the live under, what do you think it's going to be if Cleveland gets a touchdown in this drive? Do they bump it a bit because then there's a little bit of pressure on Kansas City to continue to score?
I would think that's the case. I mean, it could get them. I don't know that they will go for 2. They'll probably still be down by 9.
I think they adjusted up from 50 to 53-ish.
I'd put a field goal on that ass.
Put a field goal on it. Okay. Just because there'll be a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, live total right now is 46.
What? I don't understand. It was 28 at half. It was 28 at half, and there were
24 points.
22 points. So that was 50 at halftime. How could it possibly be 45 and a half now?
I don't know what happened.
They made a mistake, I think. The live over is probably a play at 45 and a half.
Yeah, that seems wrong, right?
That is legitimately a mistake unless something happened in the game, like a pick, Baker Mayfield pick.
I mean, it'd have to be an arm punt style pick. Like, it'd have to be a long one. I don't know. Maybe we missed something.
I don't know what's that's a weird. They just took it down. I think they recognized that they made a mistake there.
It's 3rd and 10 here. I don't know.
That was weird. I wonder what that was. That was pretty sloppy.
Oh, Chubb dropped a pass. Weird.
Why are we targeting him exactly? Coach of the Year Stefanski?
A bunch of people just said pick.
Yeah.
Maybe. Baker.
Baker,
we just
the
said
Chubb
nice
drop. The Chubb drop looked like a pick. Did he really throw a pick on 3rd and 10? He's running. He did throw a pick, and it was not a good pass. That was a very poor pass by Baker Mayfield.
Where did they have the ball?
On the 20-yard line. That was
like a long one? No. Not the other 20.
No. Like they intercepted it at the sticks. He was going. It's Chiefs ball on the 20-yard line.
I have a Mecole Hardman anytime touchdown I'd like to get here. Otherwise, Williams would work too, I guess.
Yeah.
I should have cashed that on the first draft. Jesus.
Tyrann Mathieu read that one like.
Honey Badger don't care. Good
Baker
job.
Mayfield,
let's go points. Well, actually, didn't we? I didn't bet that. Again, I said I missed the 28, so I stayed off it. I'm still cheering for points.
So the live total is 52.5.
I'm not saying I got some 45.5, but I'm not saying it. Let's see if they're going to honor that.
I think they would have to.
It's up. Yeah. Well, good. Let's go. Found a nice middle.
Myles Garrett.
Also, check out. What's the
Myles Garrett does not look good.
Check out the Equalizer this fall on CBS with Queen Latifah. Garrett's hurt.
Yeah, it looked bad too. It was non-contact.
Good night, Browns. Good night, sweet princes. I will give it, and I'm not even like giving them shit and ragging on this fan base because they've been through enough. I could never do that. But like Browns,
it looked like a torn groin, maybe, or a pulled groin, maybe just
Browns Twitter, like Browns fan Twitter was lit this week. Even going in as like a double-digit dog, knowing what they're up against, like they were very excited, and I hated to see it go down like this. It would be a little better if it was competitive, but
this is by the way,
you'll be back. You'll be back.
This game probably going to take the crown as the largest margin.
Spread, yeah. What do you think of the total Buffalo KC next week? 56. Just assuming.
Where does Dan Campbell fall in the head coaching rankings?
7th.
of the candidates, who've gotten hired, he is 7th of all 32 quarterbacks. Of 32 of 32 coaches, including the ones we haven't seen get hired yet. He's 32nd.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's behind whoever takes the dumpster fire in Houston. Which, boy, that talk about not selling a job. Like the fact that what's happened in that in that front office, what's happened with your star quarterback. And again, I sat and thought about this. Like, we've gone over this with a few people we talked to. We've gone over this amongst ourselves, like trying to figure out what the package is to trade for Deshaun Watson is impossible. Because there's no compare. Like there's no, this is what happened when the Dolphins traded, Dan Marino when he was 25. Like what do we compare this to? It could literally be a king's ransom, or it could be, I think it could be hilarious the other way, where it's like, oh my God, that's all they got just because they don't know what's going on. We got a missed field goal.
Yeah, you're not going to believe this. Number 1, Kansas City struggled in the red zone again. Number 2, Harrison Butker missed another makeable field goal. Apparently he can only make 50-yarders.
And he doinked it. A lot of doinks this weekend. Any thoughts on the Bucs game before we go?
No, really.
I don't have a good feel on that.
It's down to 2.5. If you're going to make a play, you should go back in time and play Bucs plus 3.5. Is that
at this point? Yeah, just play some money line.
The total of 53 is too high. I don't mind an under there. I make that 48.5. What do you make that total?
Like 50.
So 33 points though. You're on the other side of 51.
But I have such a bad feeling about just what could happen in like a wide range of outcomes in this game. It seemed like what we saw in that game, you can say, it was a weird blowout and stuff got weird. And, that game was off to such a goofy start. You can't really take it in, use it as analog. But the fact that they had plays figured out to absolutely beat this Tampa defense. I think they'll be able to do it again. Having Taysom Hill out might be a positive.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see a track meet.
Less incentive for Sean Payton to call minus EV plays out of nowhere, but there were some situations where you want that. And Drew Brees, man, we really think he can go score 27 points in this game? I guess they're actually asking him for 28. 28 this is like implying 28, 25. Is that right? I don't know about that. I don't know. I think the unders play if I'm going to play anything in that one, but
they're at home.
I know when I'm like close to being on tilt, and it's right now, so I probably should just stop betting for the weekend.
When is the last time the Saints did not score 28 points?
Last week they scored.
I know it's a trick question. It was last week.
They should have scored 28. I mean,
they could have.
It looked like Drew Brees. He had the tip right there. Couldn't quite break the plane of the goal.
Oh yeah, that one didn't quite get there.
Didn't quite get there.
And then the games before that, it's tough to really judge them on games against. I mean, a weird 85-point game against the Vikings, the Panthers game to end the year, the Chiefs game. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. I think that landed right on the 3.
Yeah, that was aided by some sloppy late play by the Chiefs for sure. But I think their offense performed at a level they should have scored in the low 20s in that one, not 28, 9. 21 points against they lost to the Eagles. I keep forgetting about that game. 24.
Yeah, I know. I just looked at that schedule.
Jalen Hurts' first start. Yeah. All right, I got to get going. All right, man. I think the under is looking good. Hopefully everybody got it in at 28 or 27.5 or whatever. Nick Chubb running amok. Maybe the Browns have some life and get this inside the number. But I got closing line value. That's all that matters, Take
it to the bank.
Yeah.
All right. And then maybe we'll be drinking for the late one. Who knows?
Probably.
It's Weeknd. Speaking of that, should we change the outro music to that Weeknd song that's in all the commercials?
Which one? The Blinding Lights one? Or
I don't know the names of any of the songs.
I mean, I like the Weeknd a lot. Like, I'm a huge Weeknd guy. But those songs are real freaking dark. If you kind of,
and this one's got good.
He's sure.